What's up, fam? We back. The truck is back. Uh, just picked it up from the dealership for the second time in a month. They did the ABS control module, which is what I told them to do in the first place, and they drug their feet on it. They did the torque converter. This is a 2018 Ram 2500. So when I got it back the first time, after 3 weeks or so, drove around, and it wasn't stopping crisp like it's supposed to. Like I said, this is a 2500. This is a big truck. And as you can see, my trailer in the background, if I'm pulling my trailer with a car in there, you're talking about an additional 10,000 pounds plus pulling. And if the truck can't stop, that's a big problem. Especially going to Houston, Dallas, places that are 2-3 hours away from me. So I told them to take it back. There's got to be some kind of air in the line or something. If it's not stopping crisp without weight on the back, then it's a big problem. So they took it back. They say yes, it is a problem. And we're gonna replace the ABS control module again, because maybe the last part was faulty. But prior to me picking it up the last time, they told me that the technician drove it 2 or 3 times to make sure everything was good, and he still, I guess, couldn't notice the difference between the brake travel and the time it took the truck to slow down. I don't know if he's used to driving something light like a Dodge Dart or something that doesn't have a lot of weight to it, but this is a 6,000 pound truck. I know it's supposed to take a little while to slow down, but if you got a lot of travel in your brakes and it takes you flexing your thigh muscles to stop your car or your truck, then you definitely got air in your brake lines. And I knew something was fishy because when I picked the truck up, of course the battery was dead. That was one issue. After they had it for 3 weeks, for some reason the battery died. So I replaced the battery myself. I wasn't going to pay them $400 when I can get a battery for $200 from AutoZone, plus a military discount. So after I did that, it was good. But when I popped the hood to look at it myself, I always check out where they did the work at yourself. There was a cap sitting on my battery, and I asked a service advisor about it, and he said, "Oh, that's probably from when they filled up your master cylinder with brake fluid." So now they're leaving caps and stuff inside the engine bay that could possibly get stuck into your serpentine system, but right on top of the battery. I mean, that's just bad business. So I don't know if he serviced it correctly, because if you ever bled brakes before, you know you're always supposed to start the furthest away from the master cylinder and work your way up to closest to the master cylinder, which is normally on the driver's side, front of the vehicle. So you want to start the furthest away, passenger rear, and then work your way from back to front to right where the master cylinder is. But you always want to make sure that there's fluid going into the lines and not air, no air bubbles. So I don't know if he had the master cylinder open or was cavitating or something, but some kind of air got into the system. But anyway, it's fixed now. It's Wednesday, so I got to decide what plans I want to do this weekend now that I know my truck can stop. So I don't know if it's going to be pulling the trailer to the racetrack on Friday or pulling the boat to the lake on Friday, but definitely doing something now that I got my truck out of the shop before the weekend. And now I can plan some shows and some meets with either car now, because of course the car that's in there isn't street legal, so I couldn't drive it if I wanted to. plus it doesn't have highway gears, so it would make it to where I want to go to without transmission overheating anyway. So the truck is very important for stuff like that for me. So we should be back in action. The 2500 is going to get us to maybe thinking about going to Ennis to Gap Fest and taking the race car out there and calling out some people. So I'm thinking about doing that soon. I don't know for sure, but I'll keep y'all updated. But we back. So if you see me pulling up with the white truck and the white trailer, white on white, then we back in business. But be careful with these dealerships. They don't always get it right. It's not like the military where one person gets done with the task and then you have a TI, a technical inspector, or quality control, a quality assurance person go behind them to make sure they did it right. It's just that technician and whatever his experience is, and if he decides to ask somebody who knows more, or if he had a bad day and made a mistake, there's nobody to check after them. After they get done, they're supposed to test whatever it is to make sure it's working properly, and then put it back on the line, tell their advisor or whoever that they're done. Then you come pick up your car. So it's not that second line of defense like you have in the military if you're a technician in the military like I was. So they don't always get it right, so double check, triple check. YouTube, somebody has done it before and put it on YouTube. That's what my boss told me when I worked at the dealership. So if you don't know what it is, and if it ain't in the book, and if it's hard to find, last result, check YouTube and figure out how it's done to make sure it was at least done right. But other than that, we back. Happy I got my truck back. Being that it was something that was supposed to be done before, they did it for free. And that technician that was supposed to do it right the first time, they had to do it again. He was working for free this time. They don't get paid labor for double work. You know, it's like double jeopardy. They can't get charged twice, so I couldn't get charged twice for them doing what they're supposed to do it right the first time, this time. So the whole day, yesterday when I dropped it off, until today when they told me it was done, when he was working on it, he worked for free. So that's incentive for them to learn their jobs and get it right the first time. Because at the dealership, I hate doing that myself. You lose time when you could be doing something else, making more money, fixing mess ups that you should have got done right the first time. So hopefully this is a learning lesson for them, and they treat customers a whole lot better, and they don't take advantage of people that don't know how things work. But we're back. I'm excited. Got the truck back. Opens up a whole lot more opportunities than just driving the Challenger to and from 2-3 hour, sometimes 4 hour locations, and things happening on the way where I get to a show and hit birds, which has happened, splitter, hitting potholes and breaking arms off and all kinds of stuff. So now I can possibly trailer stuff and the car look as good as after I cleaned it as it does when I get there. So that's what's up. Appreciate y'all. Peace.